Right now, there are 8 billion people on Earth. Let's say that tomorrow morning at exactly 9 a.m., every one of them vanishes. Not a war. Not a plague. No bodies, no goodbye. 1 second here, the next second gone. Everything we built is still standing. The lights are still on, the machines are still running, there's just nobody left to run them. So here's the question. Without us, how long does the world we made survive? Let's start the clock. Hour 1. For the first hour, almost nothing looks wrong. The power grid doesn't need you minute to minute. It runs itself. 10,000 planes are in the air the moment we vanish. On autopilot, most keep flying. Straight, level, calm. Until they run out of fuel. One by one, over the next few hours, they come down. Above all of it, the International Space Station keeps orbiting, empty. With no one to fire its engines, it slowly loses altitude. And within a few years, it falls, and burns up as the brightest shooting star nobody sees. On the roads, engines idle until the tanks run dry. Anything still moving drifts to a stop. Power stations keep burning whatever fuel is already loaded, but nobody is shoveling in more. Day 1. This is when the lights start going out. A grid is a balancing act. One plant trips offline, the load jumps to the next, and it trips too. The failures cascade. Within hours to a day, most of the planet goes dark. For the first time in over a century, the cities are truly black at night. There's one big exception. Hydroelectric dams don't need fuel. The Hoover Dam keeps generating on its own, automatically, with nobody inside. Parts of Las Vegas could stay lit for months, maybe years, until mussels and debris slowly choke the dam's cooling pipes, and the last lights on Earth flicker out. And underground, something quieter is happening. New York City pumps 13 million gallons of water out from under its subway every single day. The pumps run on electricity. The power dies, the pumps stop, and the groundwater comes back. In about 36 hours, the subways are flooding. Week 1. This is the hard part. The animals that depended on us, pets are trapped inside locked houses. The lucky ones get out through a broken screen or a door left open. The small breeds we designed to sit on laps don't last long in the wild. The bigger, tougher dogs form packs and start hunting. Cats, on the other hand, barely notice we're gone. They were never really domesticated. They just move outside. Farm animals are a mixed story. Billions of chickens and cattle, bred to be helpless, penned with no food. The ones that escape their pens meet predators who have not eaten this well in 10,000 years. And then there's the problem nobody wants to think about. There are about 440 nuclear reactors on Earth. Most shut themselves down automatically when the grid fails. That's the good news. The bad news is that a reactor that's shut down is still blisteringly hot, and it still needs power to pump cooling water. Backup generators kick in. They run on stored fuel for days, maybe weeks. Then the fuel runs out. After that, the cores overheat. Over the weeks that follow, reactors around the world melt down, one after another. We saw a preview of this at Fukushima, when the cooling failed for just 3 days. But here's the thing that surprises people. These are local disasters. Poison zones, not a poisoned planet. We already have the proof. Chernobyl. The most radioactive place humans ever abandoned. We left in 1986, and in the decades since, with no people at all, it has become one of the richest wildlife havens in Europe. Wolves, bears, bison, wild horses. It turns out that to nature, our radiation is a smaller problem than our presence ever was. Year 1. A full year in, the takeover has begun, and it starts from below. Seeds blow into the cracks in the pavement. Rain pools where drains are clogged with leaves. The first green pioneers take root in the concrete. In the houses, the damage is water. A single broken window lets in rain. Wood swells, rots, and softens. In cold climates, water seeps into every crack, freezes, and expands. Each winter pries the city apart a little more, and when lightning starts a fire, there is no one to put it out. It burns until it runs out of fuel or hits a river. 20 years later, 2 decades in, the suburbs are unrecognizable. Lawns are meadows. Meadows are becoming young forest. The steel bridges are the first big structures to go. Without paint and repair, rust eats through the joints, and gravity does the rest. And the night sky puts on a decades-long show. Thousands of dead satellites slowly fall out of orbit, one by one. Every few nights, another man-made shooting star. In the skyscrapers, the windows blow out in storms. Rain gets into the steel skeleton. The buildings begin to rot from the inside. 100 years later. A century after we vanish, most of what we'd call the city is gone. Wooden homes collapsed decades ago. Brick and concrete are crumbling. Even the great steel towers are starting to topple in the wind. Where there were streets, there is forest. The animals that live there have never seen a human, and never will. The oceans recover fastest of all. Within decades of the last fishing boat, fish populations explode back to levels no living human ever saw. The whales inherit quiet seas. And the planet itself? It's doing great. The air is clean. The rivers run clear. From orbit, Earth looks wild again. Which leaves the last question. 10,000 years from now, 100,000, a million. Is there anything left to say we were ever here? For a long time, the answer looks like almost nothing. The plastic we made outlasts our buildings by a wide margin. A single plastic bottle takes up to 1,000 years to break down. Deep in an Arctic mountain on Svalbard, a vault holds over 1 million seed samples from every crop humanity ever grew. Sealed in permafrost, those seeds stay viable for centuries, a backup drive for agriculture, waiting for a gardener who is never coming back. The things that last longest on Earth are the ones we carved from stone. Mount Rushmore erodes at about 1 inch every 10,000 years. Those faces will still be recognizable roughly 7 million years from now, long after every city is soil, and every radio and television broadcast we ever made is still traveling outward, through space, at the speed of light. A bubble of our old signals, expanding forever. It gets fainter with distance until it's almost nothing. But it never fully stops. But the longest lasting mark we ever made isn't on Earth at all. It's on the moon. The footprints the astronauts left have no wind and no water to erase them. They will sit in that dust, perfectly sharp, for 10 to 100 million years. Think about that. Back home, the planet will have swallowed every city, every road, every trace of us. But 250,000 miles away, a single footprint in gray dust will still be perfect. The planet we came from forgets us in a geological blink. The one place that remembers us is the one place we visited and left. 8 billion of us, every city, every song, every argument, gone from the earth in the time it takes a forest to grow. The world doesn't need us to keep turning. It just needs us to stop, and it goes on beautifully without us. And the only proof we ever existed at all will be one set of footprints, on a dead gray rock that nobody is left to find.